we've got here is failure to communicate. Some people you just can't reach. And I don't like it any more than you. Hey folks, welcome back to the great internet debate, hot topic, hot potato, roundtable discussion. Holy cow, what a shitstorm's going on in the DC and the whole bit right now, and the whole nation. Hope you all got out there and voted yesterday. Don't forget to stay covered, all right, folks? Stay covered. All right. So today is the day after. The aftermath is happening. It looks like right now there's 6 more points to go before Vice President Biden possibly has the opportunity to have all the Electoral College votes.
Let's go.
So now we're sharing the screen and we're showing the how many points are left, or not points, Electoral College votes or that are being awarded to each of these folks. Joe Biden's got 264, Donald Trump's 214.
That was a surprise. Michigan was a surprise. They came in hot.
All right. So what we do now is let's go around and introduce everybody that's on the call right now, and then we'll get into how they're feeling about where things are at today. So let's see. We'll go with the eldest to the youngest. No, I'm not sure who it is, but I'm going to go with Casey first. Casey, I'm going to throw it over to you, buddy, because you are going to be helping out with the show here. So here you go. Welcome to the show, and tell us who you are and where are you coming from.
I'm very confused to start. Just happy that I woke up this morning. We're still America, I think. Just like everybody else, waiting to see how this whole thing's going to end up. And hopefully we're going to not have a lot of the reports of violence or all this other stuff that's going to be the aftermath. So keeping them crossed, fellas.
Right on. Thank you, Casey. And where are you calling? Where are you coming in from? Where are you dialing in from?
Where am I? I'm in. I first time, long time, Jay. I'm calling from Marina, California. Big fan of the show.
Awesome.
Thanks for taking my call.
Thanks for calling in, buddy. Stick around.
All right.
Help me out. All right. Let's go over here to Steve. Steve, tell us who you are, where you're from, and how you found us.
I'm originally from my mother. I'm actually from Northeast Pennsylvania, just like Joe Biden. And he didn't go as far as I did. He went to Delaware. I came to California. It's been an interesting couple of days in our office, and there have been tears, there have been threats, there have been, if that guy wins again, you're not allowed to come here. How do you feel about that? Well, okay, well, you know, I didn't vote for him, so I don't know why you're booting me out. But it is nice, like Casey said, to know that we all got up today and, you know, the news wasn't monopolized by violence and different things that they thought was going to happen. And I'm glad that, you know, I'm sitting here in Monterey in my office right now, and we live in a bubble, and because people tuck it in early, if there is going to be any looting, any damage done to our fair cities, it's going to have to be before 5 o'clock and Luke Plate special time.
Nice. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks.
Thank you, Steve. And then Anthony, things are going crazy over where you're at.
Oh man, if I make I don't know how much violence there'll be, but if anybody gets burned on a cross, it'll be me tonight because I'm sitting in Anniston, Alabama, and all I've been doing is antagonizing people all day. So I've been doing Biden dance through the yard. I just anything to get myself shot. So I have been up since this started. I have yet to go to sleep. I've watched every second of this since it started last night. And I wanted to blow out. I wanted to blow out, right? But now that this is so painful, it's like we're sticking a knife in him a millimeter at a time. I'm actually enjoying the shit out of this. So this is great. I am loving every minute of it. I am a liberal, ultra liberal in Anniston, Alabama right now. Actually from Alabama, but spent most of my life in Texas. And I know that sounds to y'all from California, sounds super racist. There's a whole different level of racism between Alabama and Texas. Texas looks liberal compared to Alabama. So, but yeah, I'm glad to be here.
Welcome to the fold. Welcome to the show. And I'm glad to see you still alive.
Me too.
Okay. So let's go over to New York City.
Actually, I'm in Paterson, New Jersey right now, not New York.
Oh, fine,
But,
fine. Were you able to get
Jay,
to the
I
voting
want to
poll?
get technical, but
Jay, that's like when a band
they've been
is in Mountain View and they're like, "Hello, San Francisco."
they do that every time.
Come
in
on.
Mountain View. It's lame.
You're in Mountain View. You're not in San Francisco.
No, all right, but there was massive
New
looting
Jersey.
today. But it wasn't because of there was no like. It was just another Tuesday night. It was not because of the election. I'm kidding, but yeah, we're out here, and the consensus is kind of like I was talking to my friends earlier. The conversation was based around wondering how many votes Kanye West got, and I think he got like 60K.
Really?
So, yeah.
He could still pull it
Fun
out.
fact. I think he conceded.
Okay, good.
We did.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. What about you, Mr. Josh? How's Ohio?
Done, lockstep, state. We are up the butt of the Trump, as it were, to be expected. We knew it was going to happen. There was no confusion. They came to Ohio like 3 times during this thing, and all times in Cleveland. And no, we already knew there was a lot of twompers out here. It was locked up. DeWine is a Trump guy. He's gone by Trump's guideline to the T.
And it's crazy how he's talking about already. How the GOP is talking how great that they were doing this morning. That's what I saw last.
Yeah.
And then he's ready to fight in the courtroom and everything else, like he's lost. And I liked and there was this female reporter, Vera. I can't remember her first name, Vera. She was all telling it like it is, like questioning stuff right on the front from ABC. I was really excited to see her get all jacked up. But it's just this is the aftermath is going to be, like you said, the slow death. I don't want to be all. Somebody said, that's not a good thing to say, but yeah, it's going to be the wild, wild west for the next month and a half.
But Trump goes crazy and turns over all the secrets of the whole world. And he's just like raining out alien reports, y'all. He's just like, drilled, baby, drill. And he just does a ton of shit. Just executive order.
I see it coming. I totally see that happening. Look at this. Nice.
Do you really think Do you really think there's going to be violence? Do you really think there's going to be a problem?
No, I don't understand that part. Where did that even come from? I'm like, dude, when it comes down to it, Americans don't give that much of a fuck. After like another day or two, we'll all forget the election's even happened for 4 more years. It's going to be like, what? Election? What's that mean?
Well, I've given the over-under on Trump followers will kill over under 10 people. So I expect 10 people are going to lose their lives across the U.S. and it'll be in the South. But I would in Alabama, just the Auburn Alabama game, we always get 3 people killed during that game because that's all we have. So I imagine when it's a presidential election, we can triple that. So
You want a sadistic dude, man.
I know these people. I'm telling you, I've already had 2 death threats, and we don't have the election final yet.
So where to next? KC, what you got there, buddy?
Got nothing, man.
You see any rioting or anything or looting in Monterey yet?
Trying to figure out what the hell's going on. I found it interesting. Unlike Jay, I have been following the news reluctantly throughout the day. I find it interesting that Fox News was the first to, and so far I think the only one that has given Biden Arizona.
I think the AP gave it, but yeah, Fox was the first one.
But yeah. I flipped around here, and CNN hasn't done it, or MSNBC hasn't done it. So I found that fairly interesting. And then the blowback the guy got from the desk that awarded it,
right?
To do I still have you guys?
Yeah, we're there. Keep going.
Okay.
We're put something up here. I don't know.
I got you. All right. Yeah. So in terms of the media. I found some reflections. I thought that CNN did a wonderful job from what I saw. I'm amazed at John King, the way he can work that map, man. I can't even work my freaking PC.
Exactly.
He's working on all this other cool stuff. But I think for the most part, I'm just like everybody else, still waiting for the results. That's all.
I got to watch it. I don't know if any of y'all got to see it because I've watched every second on CNN. Last night when Fox called it Arizona, I think it was 1 or 2. That's when Trump came on. They go, Trump's gonna have a press conference, and I knew at 2:30 in the morning he's gonna eat his own shit or something. This is gonna be fantastic. You know, he's just gonna start throwing shit out of his diaper at the people in the audience. And the first 2 minutes, it was cool, right? He looked like he was a professional, and then he just lost his shit and he started just making stuff up, and I was dozing. I was about to, and then I got so pumped and full of energy. I was like, oh my God, my adrenaline started flowing. I was like, this idiot just said the whole election is bad, and they haven't even voted. Half the places hadn't even. I was like, this is. And then he said, we're going to start suing them. I'm like, you idiot, you're ahead. And some of these, it was so beautiful. That got me. My adrenaline got going. I was good for another 4 hours after he pulled that stuff live. It was beautiful.
Agreed.
Did any of y'all see it live? Oh God, it was
no.
They went back to CNN and they got the 4 people sitting on the, at the desk, and they all just looked like they had seen a ghost. They just sort of sat there and just stared into the camera, and then finally he's like, well, we thought that might happen. And they just started. I said, oh, this is so wonderful.
Hysterical, man. This whole thing's a trip. Well, I like the way that it's leaning right now. 6, what is this? 6 more points? Golly.
Yeah.
No.
And then what?
More electoral college votes that you have to get the whole of a state for. It's not just 6 more dots and we're there. It's not that simple, bro.
It's still the border.
Well, yeah, no, it's not that simple. There's 2 states that split it, and then there's the rest of them. They get the whole thing.
Well, they're holding out on Nevada. If Nevada comes through, that's the other 6. So that'll be 270, and he will have won it. But it looks like, like I said, I've been following this. It looks like he's going to catch up in Georgia. And it looks like he may pass him in Pennsylvania because there's a good size difference. I want to say almost 200,000 in Pennsylvania. But the way the mail-in ballots have been going, he may gain 400,000 with the mail-in ballots. So I was just watching James Carville, and he was saying he said he will win Pennsylvania by 100,000 or more. Biden will. And Georgia is just now getting the Atlanta. That's what I've been learning. That's what I've been learning watching this. Is it matters where it's at, those electoral. But if it's in a Biden has been winning 80 to 85% of the vote in the cities around Atlanta and around it, and those are the ones that hadn't reported yet. So it looked like he was way behind. He was like 200,000 behind in Georgia, and now he's like 40,000 behind. So every time they spill some new votes, he makes these huge gains. Like there was another one last night. He went from 110,000 down to 40,000 up in one report. So it looks like he's going to catch him in Georgia. He could end up taking all of the remaining states except North Carolina.
You said Trump?
Yeah, no, Biden.
Oh,
Biden could end up with all the states except North Carolina.
That'll be great.
That
Look how
would be.
close Nevada is, bro.
Say that again.
The reporting right here on the screen. Look how close Nevada is.
Yes, yes.
That's crazy.
And what they're and on Nevada, what they're saying is the ones that haven't been reported yet are in Las Vegas, and that one's been coming in. The mail-in
There's
ballot.
3 million people in Vegas. That's a lot of votes.
Right.
What?
And that was supposed to be coming in like 60 to 65%, the remaining votes to Biden. And if it does, then he's got Nevada.
Come on,
Man.
legal weed.
Man, this is like a Super Bowl game. Like the advertising for this show is like, amazing. This show keeps going on and on and on. This electoral game keeps going and going.
Like
All right.
the last 2 minutes of an NBA game. You know how that always takes 30 minutes for the last 2 minutes of the NBA game. This is what this feels like.
I saw this lady from Wisconsin, election committee or whatever it was, and she was put on TV, and she was questioned about the idea of it being tampered by the president, and then she just went on the back end. She just went, "Well, I'll tell you what we do," and then they went through what they did. And I don't know if you guys. I went to the one in Monterey County election office with my daughter the other day. I tried to post this thing, it wouldn't post. But I went through, I had like a 6-minute video, went through, this one lady was showing us around. It was kind of cool. And we went back to the back area there where they were showing us how it was all going to be counted out and everything, and how it was going to be the accountability age is present with
That's
the
super cool,
election, with the election committee. Huh?
That's super cool. I'm glad you did that. That's amazing.
Yeah, so it's really great how they are being very accountable, and they are also being very I don't know
Diligent.
forthright and sterile with what they're doing. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, this is what we're doing, this is how it's going, and we all have different techniques, but the end result is each ballot, as far as I've seen, is going to be double checked by 2 human beings in that room. And then I know that I think it was in Pennsylvania or something, that were in their that's what they're going to fight, is the judge law versus the people law or whatever it was.
Right.
Where the judges were making up the rules about the Supreme Court of that state made the rule that it can go up to Friday to get the what do you call those votes? The ones where they drop off.
Absentee ballots.
The absentee ballots.
Right.
So there's a whole another section of voting that they're accounting for, that's going to be separated in case that becomes a problem in the courtroom and all that kind of stuff. And then you got the mail-in ballots, and you got everything else. It's just it's amazing how different, but yet back to the lowest common denominator. There's 2 humans checking the ballots across the nation, as far as I've seen. That's great. And there's a double way to do it. And I feel confident about this election system for the most part. The Electoral College is another story.
What did you just say?
Well, no, I'm talking about the way that these election officers are doing their
Have you
job.
lost your damn mind, son?
Go ahead. Tell me what you're thinking. Tell me about the election. Tell me
You
what
really
you're
don't
thinking.
think that there's anything wrong with our election system?
Well, I think the Electoral College could be a question
This is
mark,
what
but
That is our system, Jay. That
This
is
is
the
what
exact.
Yeah,
I
well,
wait for all
I-
night.
Okay, you see
There's
this screen?
approval. There's approval voting.
Hold on.
Here comes
Hold on.
Josh's
Look at this screen.
interjection.
You know what we're looking at? The electoral college count, bro. That's all we're looking at. Get out of here. Go ahead, sir. Tell me how there's nothing wrong with the system.
Well, I just suggested that the electoral college is an issue. Popular vote is important. I like the approval voting system. Are you familiar with the approval voting system?
No, what's that?
In some parts of our great nation, the approval voting system does exist. And if you Google it, you'll find it. We could probably pull it up on the thing. But approval voting is where they put all the names on the ballot, and say you liked 2 of the 6 people of what they said, you'd mark those 2 people off the ballot, and then just like they get a hashtag, next to their name, and then each one would get a hashtag, right? And then that's the approval voting. So eventually, the person that has the most hashtags wins. That's approval voting, and I've seen that, and I like that, and it makes sense to me.
I don't know if that's how Georgia does it. I know they're talking about both of the Senate races in Georgia are going to a runoff. And I didn't know exactly how they did that, but I saw they listed like 6 candidates and they were from different parties. So I was like, well, maybe that's what they're doing. I wasn't familiar with it. But I think in the end, both of their Senate candidates are going to be in a runoff because neither of them got 50% or more. Anything below 50, they got to do the runoff.
Yeah, explain the runoff. I forget how that goes. Do you know?
To my understanding, it's just they will then have whoever they break it down to the final 2, and those 2 go against each other in a special election here between now and I guess inauguration day or whatever. Because I know the racist lady that owns the WNBA team, Loeffler from Georgia, she's a senator. She's in a runoff with a Democrat, and the other guy is the one that backed out of the last debate because he thought he was done with, and he ended up actually winning, but he didn't get the 50%, so he's in a runoff. So it's just it's an additional election they'll have to go through.
I think Fargo, North Dakota, is that where that election thing is at? The approval voting is one of the first places it was at, that I remember.
The electoral college needs to disappear, though. I was trying to explain that to a friend today that if you look at the populations of certain states, and I don't remember which ones, but maybe y'all can correct me, North Dakota or South Dakota or Montana, they actually don't have enough population to actually get one electoral vote, yet they get one. So that's very unfair to the other states like California, New York, who have a bunch. It turns out those states with small population are actually overrepresented in the electoral college. So they definitely need to be taken away and go to the popular vote. Biden's about to win by more than 3 million votes. He's going to have over 71 million, which no one's ever done, including Obama. So we should probably let that guy win. That was big sense to me.
I hope he does. Hope it finally finishes that way. Okay. So, Steve, I know you got a lot to say, and you haven't said it. So go ahead and say what you need to say, because I want to hear what you have to say, sir.
Well, you're talking about the electoral college. I think I agree, it's completely outdated. We all live in a world of technology now, and nobody lives in the far reaches where they need other kind of representation for their voice. And the way it was originally set up, I think it was a great thing. Just like a lot of things that started here, they were all wonderful. We definitely outlived this one. And considering some of the elections lately that popular vote did not supersede the college, it does make sense to really look at it again. And, for whatever it's worth, we do need change. And having Biden in there, I think is a start. And I think we also need to understand that, as you guys mentioned before, the Senate, the House of Representatives, who's going to control this, who's going to control that. If Biden can look across the aisle, like he says he does, and everyone could start doing that, we can all start just acting like Americans, and we can get back on track. There were some things that happened lately that were just fine, but there were some things that happened lately that were not. And we got to correct some things moving forward. And again, that whole electoral college thing, like you said, you're looking at their numbers, 270. What really does that represent? And who are these anonymous people? And why don't I know where they live? And there's probably a good reason for that, because we're all going to end up at their house and say, what were you thinking? Or thank you, one or the other. And, I don't understand it. Why these people, whoever they are, they're our voice. And California, we knew where this was going to go. We know where New York was going to go. And there were a few surprises. Trump gave the big contract to Wisconsin shipyard, and yet Wisconsin turned on him and went blue. So, there's nothing as predictable as we think it is. But as far as popular vote, I think we need to get back to that and have our voices really mean something. Because if they say every vote really counts, does it really? Especially with the electoral college, and that's what, again, we really do need to look at, because this thing is outlived itself.
I was looking at as Wisconsin, and I may have states wrong and the numbers wrong, but the idea is the same. Is Trump won, I believe, Wisconsin or Michigan by 20,000 votes last time, but he got all 12. He got all 12 electoral votes. This time, Biden's going to win it by 20,000, and he's going to get all 12. So this election was super close in that state, but only the winner takes all of them. That is just totally unfair.
It is.
It's totally unfair. Essentially, everyone. I've spent most of my life in Texas. Of course, I would have voted blue. I can't believe that. I think it was. It wasn't even 1 million votes that separated the blue from the red, but all the blue disappears when it comes to the electoral college. So that's just ridiculous.
Yep.
There it is right there, 20,000. That's crazy.
That's insane.
20,000 votes, bro.
That's insane.
Right there. You're on it, Anthony.
And they were saying, I didn't catch it earlier today because, of course, I hadn't had any sleep, but they were saying that one election, one of the states was won by like 113 votes. That person gets all those electoral.
That would be New Hampshire. Probably.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
This one's reporting a little different, but yeah.
Yeah. One of the
It is
smallest.
crazy. But each source has its own tabulation or what, I don't know. You don't know until the president says, you won it, Biden, or inauguration day, or what is it, January, he gets out on what, January 1st?
20.
Like
20th.
21st, yeah.
January 1st?
21st or 20th or something like that.
Oh, would
And
be
if
nice.
not, he will be promptly excommunicated from the community entirely, so.
Yeah, what's going to be interesting is what does Trump do if, let's say, this weekend he has to concede. It's clear that he lost. What's he going to do over the next 2 months? He knows he's lost, and there's nothing he can do about it. He can just sit there and start pardoning anyone he wants to pardon.
That's what I said. He's gonna be reining it. He's gonna be like,
Yes.
executive order, y'all.
Exactly. There is no telling what this asshole might do to just screw things up worse for the next guy coming.
He wouldn't be the first president to tank a whole experience just so the next guy got. I think here's my take. Trump loses, he's gonna be like, yep, good game. I lost. It was great. See ya. And I don't think it's gonna be a thing. I don't think there's any kind of issue. He's playing a character that he's been playing on TV for the last 15 years since he started a reality television show. He's in his mind. He's just showing up to work every day, being himself. And so when it's over, you'll keep beating them. So I don't know. Frankie was down by Trump Tower, and it had armed guards. Yeah, assault rifles and armed guards outside of his building.
Yeah.
He wasn't even there or
New York
nothing.
15s.
So you can look at it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of posturing. You know, he's
That's a little weird.
Yeah, but it's media. It's media scaring people. It's media, you know.
No. There was Secret Service at the building. There was also local police at the building. So think about it this way. The amount of money that's being spent on just keeping the overtime for Secret Service guys and for local police is like tens of thousands of dollars for that one corner, period. And how many buildings are there that are under armed guards that we're paying for? It's ridiculous.
Well, think about all the other things we're paying for too. And with the fact that in this election, more young people came out and vote, more people of color, the Latinos, whether they were the Cubans in Florida or the Mexican South Americans closer to where we live out west. This is a sign too that maybe we should stop voting for rich old white guys who've been there forever. And, you know, besides electoral college, you know, why are we giving these guys huge pensions? They're already rich. Why don't we have some kind of rule for how long they can actually stay in office and how they represent us? Because I don't feel totally represented, you know, in whether it's in Sacramento or whether it's in Washington.
Wow.
And you know, it's us who I thought by this time it would be a classmate I know who has a high-ranking job in elections or, you know, somewhere along the line, but I'm thinking we're still a little too young because we're not, you know, one foot in the grave and another on a banana peel. And we got to get over that. You know, we got to get not just the younger voice, but younger people involved in this process to get elected, to move forward through the process, to really make a difference. Because politics, the way it's been done in this country, has been slow, it's been sluggish, it's been demoralizing. And Trump came in as a non-politician. He shook it up a little bit. He pissed some people off. You know, he, you know, was applauded by some other people. But now with Biden there, more in the middle, where he wants to be and bring people back, which I hope he does stay in the middle. We need the younger people to look at this and say, you know, what difference am I going to make, you know, for, you know, the economy? What difference am I going to make for bringing in electric cars and not worrying so much about birds dying because of wind power? You know, what am I going to do for the future? Because for us at our age, we're kind of timing out, and, you know, we can make decisions based on how we can live the rest of our life comfortably. Like our forefathers did not worry about the younger people. If they have a bigger voice, then we're all going to have to listen a little more attentively. And I think we're going to be better off.
That's good, man. I can definitely appreciate the, you know, the enthusiasm. And well, I want to interject something real quick. I want to share this image that I got pulled up here. And this is what I think when someone says, you're talking about presidential election, this is just an earlier slide from USA Today. And someone said in the comments, Trump's a narcissist rapist? Compared to sniffing you, choose that? Or compared to sniffing, you choose that? I don't know. Could someone help me, please? Is this exact? Does this break it down? Biden versus Trump, rapist versus a sniffer.
Oh, yeah. I think what they're talking about there is they have video of Joe Biden when he gets around young kids. Sometimes he sniffs them or rubs them, and it looks really awkward. If you've ever seen it, it's very
weird.
No, it's I don't know, but somebody here's a publisher. Hey, I can't hear you, but I think you're talking about the rapists.
I'm just reading a comment. What has our entire system come to when this is the comment of the day? That's the comment of the day. And that wasn't the only one that was crazy.
You choose the rapist. I think that's what they're getting at.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Whoever God wants to get for the USA.
Where'd they go to school? Where'd they learn how to write like this?
I mean, this is just comments, but this is on USA Today. So this is our election being, this is one of my favorite. The guy who has like you know, kanjis for his name says, hold the line, double red heart, American flag, double red heart, American flag. I do not understand how to interpret that.
Well, you do it the way his parents interpret that. You buy, you go. You buy, you go. Next,
That's
next.
kind of what I was thinking, but then I was like, I'm racist. Am I racist? Because I think this guy goes, hold the rain, hold the rain. Like, I mean, completely. Anthony's coming back in. And then it goes on to, where's the next one? Biden is racist, y'all. Wake up. No shit. Like, is there a non-racist candidate? I don't think so. I mean, this is just some clips off of USA Today's. Here we go. This one's great. God, guns, and oil is on the ballot. You don't like boo-hoo. And then, yes. Yes. So that's what I think that people are really looking at this election from this, like, not looking down on it from a high level, but kind of getting really down low and just looking.
Going to let a 17-year-old vote.
That's kind of the idea. Is they're looking at it at a low level. This is a strategy. This is marketing and advertising, and the Democrats didn't have to put up too big a fight this year. It happens when you have a experience like we've had. You'll have 4 years of wow, what the hell, and then it's pretty easy for the Democrats to win one. It's just it's not like it's going to be 8
So
more
you
years of
think
Biden.
that you think Biden has this one in the bag? You think it's over?
He's got to, Trump's got to run the table, and I don't think that's going to happen. And one of the cool things are, we're not going to get all the tweets. I think the biggest issue that Biden's going to have is finding the bathroom, because his age, when he does retire, he's going to be that guy, pimping, adult diapers and, all this time in the White House, you didn't know because you didn't see the bulge. This is what I was wearing, with the presidential seal. And, dude, as seen on TV, that'd be great.
That's crazy.
funny.
You crazy, Steve. You crazy. I was just looking at some other stuff. Whenever I watch these, like, I'm not on Facebook publicly too much anymore. And so when these elections, I didn't watch anything until after all the polls were closed. It was the next day. And then I started looking at the score, and I'm just looking at this thing going, the next shot. Hold up. This one, let me share it with you. This is another thing that's been brought up in a bunch of different kind of ways. This one here, good old Debbie Holland replying to Gregory says, no, Epstein was real true friends with the Clintons and imaginary friends with Trump.
Oh,
I saw the image. I saw the pictures of, like, Trump with his arm around. Yeah, he was just a sleazy Hollywood character at the time, but it's like, is this the level we're at? Are we really down to
it's the level we're at.
Holland level? That just scares the shit out of me.
Yeah, I'm like I said, I'm sitting in Alabama, and these are my relatives I'm hanging out with, and they're good people, but all of them either drew unemployment, or they're drawing disability, or they're getting food stamps, yet they're voting for Trump. So I would sit them down and say, explain to me why that is, and every single one of them individually is because he believes in killing babies. Biden believes in killing babies. That was their issue. That was so interesting that every single one of them, that was the issue for them, was they believe that, and Biden does support abortion, of course, are pro-choice, but that was what separated. It didn't matter that some of their friends had died from COVID. It didn't matter. It didn't matter that they lost their job. It didn't matter that they got the unemployment with the $600 and then it got cut off. It doesn't matter that they're drawing disability. It doesn't matter that they're drawing from socialist programs, what they would consider socialist programs. It boiled down to he's against God. So.
Well, that's what you have in the middle of the state or the middle of the country. You look at that line of the Bible Belt.
Right.
And the one thing we haven't touched on is just because Biden had a woman of color as his running mate didn't make him a candidate to vote for. And look at some of the issues that she represented before all of a sudden she was, shoulder tapped to be the vice president. So as much as, we look at Biden getting elected, we're not really electing Biden, we're electing a party and we're grooming Harris, which also moves into the situation where does Newsom fit in the end? Because, he's got Aunt Pelosi there too for 2 more years. So are they grooming him to move up into that office? And everyone coming out of California, because if we get rid of the electoral college, we have the population here to support that.
Right.
We could drive this country. So there's a lot of weird shit out there that we've got to be looking down the road at for how we do things, because we're not really voting Biden.
Right.
It's something different and something in the middle. But what does, someone said to me today, well, the vice president, they just, shake hands, kiss babies, talk to dignitaries and, hang out, in the Senate. Well, she's got a bigger voice, and I think she's going to elbow her way in, even though she doesn't agree with everything Biden says. And as much as she says she's a team player, you know what? I'd tell you anything to, get on your side. And, that's, I think, how she is. And we're going to see some stuff that is going to be like, oh, wow. And then how's the media going to play it out? How are they going to look at it? Are they going to crucify her?
It's a progressive agenda, and I'm all for it. I think this is a 12-year Kamala Harris presidency. I think Biden probably doesn't make it past the first year or two. You know what I mean? Just physically, even if he's still alive. And this is a setup for and I agree, maybe she becomes president and Gavin Newsom runs with her the next time around as the vice president. And I'm all for that. Let's have universal health care. Let's get the Green New Deal. Let's take every fucking idea from Bernie Sanders we can take, because I love the man and I would have I vote for him. Let's take his ideas and gradually introduce it into the mainstream, because it's really what the mainstream needs. They're just not bright enough to know it.
We need to take care of people.
We do.
Yeah.
We do. And the people that need to be taken care of don't understand that.
Well, I see the way they wrote on their comments, and
Right.
obviously there are some out there.
Let me share one for you guys.
Please.
What about this? This guy right here.
Oh my God.
How many more years is he gonna be able to keep fucking chugging it?
Oh, this guy?
Yeah.
What happened to him too? How'd he get beat up?
How come he doesn't have a chin? Don't you have to have a chin to qualify?
I mean, at this point, I don't know. He creeped me out with those pictures. How his hands were all bruised, and was he eating babies? Was he eating babies?
It looks like he's been up for a really long time.
Yeah, really, like 40 years.
Yeah, it's a whack job.
Tripped and fell in some Nazi dope when he was like 2 years old. And
Well, I think they vote according to the number of teeth in Kentucky, and he's pretty much got set, so he qualifies.
all right.
Two of the 6 women here in Alabama that are my age in the 50 range, they said they wouldn't vote for that ticket anyway because a woman shouldn't be president or vice president.
Wow.
Yeah, that's, and I've always had that around me. It's not nearly as bad in Texas, but it's amazing when you hear things like that. You think, oh, well, that died off 50 years ago. No, there are still people that believe that.
There's still states that believe that.
Yes.
Yeah.
No?
That is crazy. Well, KC, you got something to say down there? You've been quiet for a while.
Just taking it all in, Jay.
Taking it all in.
Yes.
All right.
What about?
Frankie?
I'm just gonna try something. I don't know if it's any good or not. Let me see it.
Verizon
Hold on.
5G is here.
Not that.
So
Let
In
me
a
skip
minute,
this person.
I want to share the approval voting video. I found a 40-second video as well.
Roll it, yeah.
All right. That way you guys can understand what that is for a second. How do I do that? I gotta go up here.
Are you rolling, Jay?
No. Hold on.
You rolling a J?
Oh, what about the states that went legal?
Thank you. New Jersey. Legalized bud.
Oh, here we go.
That's a silver lining if I ever saw one. Everybody's like totally like freaking out about it, but you know,
That happened
Kelly
in New-
hasn't burned to the ground yet. Exactly.
Have you ever driven on the New Jersey Turnpike and now they're all going to be high? Oh,
I know that's a good point. I mean, it's a crazy. Actually, it's funny. The insurance for my car over here went through the roof. It was like 3 times higher than in California for that reason, because people drive like maniacs out here.
Oh, check it out. I want to share this. I haven't seen it yet.
But I you know, some people drive. I mean, not that I'm encouraging it, but some people drive better stoned, I think.
Oh, that's not pretty. There we go. That's pretty.
I don't think people should go to jail over some marijuana when there's so many more worse drugs out there.
He kind of brought it in with the medicinal way, but recreational now you're gonna have less, because the criminal charges are just, is ridiculous.
The measure
Oh, that is so Jers. That guy's mask and everything.
to allow people 21 and older to use cannabis.
They altered the state's constitution. That's an interesting point.
65% sales tax. Now, lawmakers must pass legislation to implement rules and regulations, and a commission will be created for oversight. It's a big win for Democrats who pushed for legalization.
This is a state when we came into office that had the widest white, non-white gap of persons incarcerated in America.
Wow.
That's overwhelmingly because of low-end drug crimes.
The New Jersey State Association of Chiefs of Police is among those who opposed the measure and now hopes to be involved in the creation of rules and regulations, namely how to handle a field sobriety test for those who drive under the influence.
Not having that definitive source or device to be able to use similar to the alcohol.
All right, fuck these guys. We got our own show. I'm just saying that's the big thing, right? Is like, it wasn't just New Jersey though.
Right, it wasn't.
Arizona, bruh.
Really, Arizona?
Montana,
Okay.
And
That's
South Dakota, bro.
Just
South
pass it.
Dakota.
cool. South Dakota, that's a random one.
Right here. I'm talking about South Dakota. That's about the cheapest land in all of America.
Isn't that like really hot right now? Isn't that where like Kanye West lives? Right down
South
that's
Dakota?
Wyoming, sorry. It's a different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, have you lost your
I was-
mind?
Oh, fly.
South Dakota is where Mount Rushmore is with Jay's.
Who knows?
lovely
Nobody
background.
here has ever been to South Dakota. It may not even exist for all this group of people know. I'm just saying. Yeah, but it's that cheap. It's like one of the cheapest places to buy land. And I think power is super cheap there too. So I'm just looking at, hey, move to South Dakota, grow weed for like 3 years.
Yeah, do you want to live in a place where they have minus temperatures 9 months out of the year?
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and wind chill factor.
Oh, that's sad.
And I think this was something that went unnoticed in the Trump administration is we tried to give the Dakotas to Canada and they didn't want it. And we
That's what I'm saying.
get to Mexico and they're like, no, not us either. You know,
No gracias. No gracias. We're good.
Funny.
I was reading a study today because I got in a fight with someone on Twitter about decriminalization of drugs. Like I've never drank, I've never used a drug ever my whole life. And I was a drug and alcohol counselor when I was 19. But I've learned, let's legalize all the drugs or let's make them all illegal. This pick and choose shit is ridiculous. And
Right.
so I was arguing with the guy and he said something about if they decriminalize heroin, I think they're doing that in Oregon or Washington State. They're doing that. And he said, well, then everyone's going to use it. And I said, well, I don't know that that's true. And he started getting mad at me. I was like, you're just talking out your ass. Look shit up. I found that in Portugal, they decriminalized all drugs. The use of drugs went down. The price of drugs went down.
Yeah,
And in the youngest age category, less people used it as in the youngest age category. So actually decriminalizing it actually reduces the use and reduces crime.
yeah, the crime rate was down for sure.
Yeah. So I was like, that's crazy. It truly is a way to put the black man in prison and get slave labor. That's exactly what it's used to do.
Damn, Anthony. Okay.
Say it again.
What'd you say?
I was just throwing out a comically loud Damn, because
Oh, okay.
that's heavy hitting. That's taking it all the way back to like privatized prisons and why people are in prison in the first place. So
Why there
good.
shouldn't be privatized prisons.
I was just reading an article on that. That's exact. And I didn't realize the Constitution said that almost word for word, that the only time you could have slave labor is prison. It uses those words, and I was like, I'd be damned. How did I not know that? Because I've studied civil rights, and that's what they did. It's just another way in the 60s and 70s during the civil rights. That was Nixon started the war on drugs, and it was, and I believe it was Haldeman or someone stated later, Ehrlichman stated later, this was a way for us to imprison hippies and black people. That's why we invented the war on drugs. We did not give a shit about drugs.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened after that.
I think with this group, that's kind of common knowledge. If you're on this phone call, I hope you understand that. Thanks for illuminating us. Hey, Jay, I'm going to play another video. You might get in trouble for it. I'm just going to let you know.
I just want, on that note, though, people always do want what is taboo at the time, and they'll keep going after it. But go ahead.
Small amounts of drugs like cocaine.
Did you get the audio? Hold on.
Oxycontin, and
Let me share the audio.
In
Back it
addition,
up.
it's no longer
Yeah, this is it. This is the dope on the dope in Oregon right now from the Post. Let's see here. Share screen. Share screen. With sound on, that's share computer sound. That's a pro tip there. You got to click share computer sound.
For advocates seeking to change drug laws. The most historic changes happened in Oregon, where voters overwhelmingly passed Measure 110. This decriminalizes the possession of small amounts of drugs like cocaine, heroin, OxyContin, and methamphetamine. In addition to residents no longer facing arrests or prison sentences, it also establishes a drug treatment and recovery services fund. The goal is to help people who are suffering with addiction receive treatment as opposed to jail time. Supporters of the measure argue that addiction is a public health issue and that mass incarceration does little to help people struggling with the disease.
For a long time, public safety leaders have been giving platitudes towards the idea that, hey, we can't arrest our way out of addiction. I think what we've been doing clearly has failed. And so I'm willing, and I think that it's a smart move for somebody who on their first or second time interacting with the criminal justice system, we try treatment.
However, manufacturing and selling of these drugs remains illegal and are subject to criminal penalty.
Oh, yeah.
Oregon also legalized psychedelic mushrooms, which were decriminalized in the District of Columbia as well. In D.C., the passage indicates that the prosecution of those who use and sell magic mushrooms would become a low priority for police. Elsewhere, states also voted to decriminalize recreational marijuana. New Jersey, Arizona, Montana, and South Dakota joined the 11 other states where this is legal. Mississippi, meanwhile, legalized it for medical use.
What? What? That was the jaw dropper, that last one, fellas. Did I hear that correctly? Is that actually what was just said? Mississippi got medical?
Yep. If you live in Mississippi, you need it.
I never know Mississippi any motherfucking thing.
Yeah. I think that I've been to probably 48 states. That is by far the worst. It is absolutely the worst state.
I worked in Mississippi. It is not cool.
Yeah, it's not.
That was crazy though. So what are we talking about? So we're talking about I could have a lightweight meth addiction and not have to worry about facing jail time.
Right.
Congratulations.
But you need to face treatment.
No, I would have to, or pay the fine.
Or pay the
Moderate fine. It's not a huge fine.
I wonder
Small possession.
if we randomly stopped drivers and tested them for pain medication, I bet you more people are on pain meds.
Don't give the government any more ideas.
You know what I'm saying? People want to and I was one of those people 30 years ago. We want to complain about people smoking marijuana and driving, doing whatever. More people probably are drunk driving, and more people are high on prescription medication driving than probably anyone is high on marijuana.
That's been going on for a
Facts.
long time. Ever since there's
Facts.
been drugs, they've been and driving. They've been drugging and drinking and driving forever and ever.
Hey man, drug and drink and driving. You know that was our high school
Yeah, Jay used to.
song.
So
Drug
we
and
did.
drinking.
Jay used to do what are those things he used to like do? He used to like sniff those Rippets from the '80s with the mullet.
The
Remember he
whippets,
ran over
yes,
that
the whippets. All my friends had whippets. Okay,
Yeah, there you go.
I had mullets and they had whippets. Okay, hey, check it out. So I want to show you this video. If I can share this screen now, I'm going to show you approval voting. All right.
Roll it.
Can I get there?
Roll it.
Approval voting. Is this it? Okay, you guys see the screen? Now we're going to go to share computer sound and start.
What is it?
Jay, you need to check your fucking open tab habit, bro.
What happened? What
As
was
the
open?
technical director on the show, you best to check yourself on all those open tabs. You about to give me a heart attack. Is that like client info on each one of those? Is a different job you're supposed to be doing? Like,
Oh, I don't know what was there. Okay, well, don't look at that stuff.
you know, I'm running back into Scrubber on the editing floor, and I'm like, oh, what did he have open in there?
Yeah. All right, well, good.
That was
I'm glad you
I
pointed
like
out.
the song on that. It was good.
What was it about? I already forgot.
That was approval voting. That was
Oh, okay,
how
yeah,
simple
yeah.
it was.
Okay.
That sounds like some socialist shit.
I mean,
Yeah, well, you know.
again, that's another thing we didn't talk about is look at all the money that they throw around on
Speak
these.
up, Steve.
Huh?
Louder.
Oh, I say, with this approval voting, where do they get the money once you say, okay, well, you're one of the top 3 candidates? Because you look at the way elections are run now and how much money's thrown at these candidates. Imagine that money going to schools, that money going to fixing our roads, that money going to something that's really going to be worth it to us as people versus in the pockets of whoever is running the election. Because there is a gazillion dollars out there for this to get your person elected, because it's not even just, again, who you're voting for, it's the people and the companies behind them that are making the rules. And
I think the lady that lost to Joni Ernst, they spent $200 million and she lost. Yeah.
That's insane.
It is. It's crazy.
That was insane.
Yeah. Doesn't England, I don't know about England if they have a financial limit. I know they have a limit where they can only run for office. I think it's like 90 days or 60 days. I don't know if they have a limit on money, but we definitely need to shorten the season to 2 or 3 months. You only have this much money. And if you can wisely use your money, maybe that shows you have some management skills. Maybe you should be in office. And if you can't, then you don't win. But there's got to be a limit. When I heard that $200 million, I was just like you. Imagine all the stuff we could have done with that $200 million.
All the cocaine and
exactly.
Could have bought,
Yeah, keep going.
If we're done here, I'm packing. I'm out. Gas is cheaper there too. It's like Jersey. You guys in Jersey, you can't pump your gas.
No, we get spoiled out here. I go, like, once you cross to New York, you're like, is someone gonna help me? You're just looking around for someone, waiting around. It's actually one of the few Jersey perks.
Do you pay more for that?
And the gas is dirt. No. I mean, I felt weird when I first moved here. I was like, do I tip them? Like, this is weird. There's only 2 states left in the whole country to do it:
How much?
The other
in New
one,
Jersey.
you can have a
I mean,
small amount of heroin
Oregon and New
and
Jersey.
just get a fine.
Right.
In Oregon?
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. There's like open needle use in Seattle already. Like what's going to happen to Oregon? Is Portland going to become like this much weirder? Is it going to be this much weirder? This much weirder? Like how crazier does Bend, Oregon like turn into this whole nother universe you get sucked into? Like,
Oh, I mean, the study in Portugal says if it goes like them, drug use is going to go down. I mean,
everywhere else, I agree, but in Portland,
right? I agree. And Seattle, I would feel the same way. It seems like they would use the shit out of drugs, but maybe responsibly. Maybe it's not irresponsible.
no, I'm a responsible heroin user. I've heard that story before, bro. I don't think so.
They're functional out there.
Yeah, that's right. Functional alcoholics, functional drug addicts. Why not? When I was 25 years old, if you get in trouble with drugs, we should just kill you because you're a waste of space. That was my attitude then. So 30 years it's changed.
You were a dare child, weren't you?
I was what?
Dare drug. What is it? Drug.
I was. I mean, and what's
I watched that. We all watched the cartoons.
And what was crazy, I was a drug and alcohol counselor, and I'm like, this is not a disease. And if you're this stupid to fuck up your life with this,
education.
Put yourself out of your misery.
I've recently thought that the war on drugs meant to kill anybody that's on drugs.
That does make sense, and I still got to support that.
On drugs without a prescription. Without a prescription, you gotta. As long as you got a prescription, then that's cool. It's like whatever.
Yeah, after he's dead, after they're dead, they figure out he had a prescription.
Ooh.
But back to your question, what is the fine? That was I had the same concern. So we can send you to treatment, or you can pay a fine. Treatment's expensive. How much is the fine? I think treatment's probably like $30,000. So how much is a fine? Are they going to fine you $10,000? And if you don't pay the fine, they put you in jail? Yeah, I'd like to know all of those answers.
Why is treatment $30,000?
Inpatient treatment is, it's
healthcare.
Yeah, I think
that's it.
Yeah, 6 weeks of inpatient treatment, I think, is about $30,000.
Yeah, it's not a pay for play. You don't just pay for how much it costs me. Can I tell you all a little secret? You guys are gonna laugh. It cost my fiance, not me. She got the bill to have our baby in total and everything because we made enough money, but not too much money without insurance. The birth of our child was $579.
Wow, God bless you.
Billed out the door. So, and we didn't, it's not because we didn't get charged whatever. It's because the doctors were aware that we were self-payers.
Yes.
We made it apparent along the way. And so as we went through the system, they gave us financial assistance and they helped us. Now, why did they have to give us this financial assistance, you say? Because healthcare and the way that it's structured and how insurance gets paid based on whether or not the doctor plays the insurance game right. It's unfortunate. It's sad. I don't think this election changes healthcare one fucking bit.
No, and it's got to be changed. I was a healthcare provider. I owned physical rehabilitation centers for about 20 years in San Antonio. And what you're saying, I try to tell people that is, if you walk in the door without insurance, everything's coded in healthcare. If you walk in without insurance, well, first of all, I can charge you anything I want to charge you.
That's what they don't understand. It's a business.
For any code. So here's how it works in the system is I could say charge you $1,000 off that. But I know that private insurance is only going to pay $700. I know workers' compensation is only going to pay $500. I know that Medicare is only going to pay $200, and I know that Medicaid's only going to pay $50. So I always tell my friends, if you go in and pay out of your pocket, when they send you your bill, send back, and I give them a standard letter, send it back saying, please give me the Medicaid prices for these codes, and I'll pay that, or I will refuse to pay, and I'll sue you for discrimination. They always let them pay the Medicaid prices because it is discrimination, because you might have a $35,000 bill, like you're saying, for having a child, but on Medicaid would only pay $500 for that. So they can charge everyone $500, but they don't. So that's how the system is set up. That's why Biden doesn't support universal health care, because it would drop it to around Medicare reimbursement. Which
So that's
people
kind of what
How
I'm
much?
suggesting.
So how much is it to normally have it's $35,000 to have a child?
No,
I don't know.
No,
How much was it? Do you know?
no, I'm telling
I
you,
thought
they
it was around
coded it
10,
as a
right?
vaginal birth, and the bill was $579 for the vaginal birth.
Okay.
Right.
Well, that's what you had to pay, but what was the
Yeah.
overall
No,
total
I'm telling
cost?
you what they billed it as, dude.
What they
You're not
billed you at?
understanding. So the code that they used, it was billed as $579 as a vaginal
So
birth.
you're saying
As a line
so
item.
you're saying have
One
so you're
line
saying
item.
have vaginal birth.
Vaginal birth, $579. The next day, because of her, and she makes, we'll just be honest, around 50K in inheritance a year. So that was the problem. It's not earned income, but yet she gets enough money, she doesn't qualify for any kind of insurance. So she has to pay out of pocket. And because it wasn't open enrollment, she couldn't even get insurance her whole pregnancy. We tried. It didn't matter if you had $3,000, $4,000 in your pocket. You can't buy insurance in the middle of the year anymore. And it's just a tragedy. And like I
Right.
said, again, these elections.
That's where Jay Cohen comes in over here, though.
Not unless you're in
If
California.
you live in California, I'm not sure what they're doing in Ohio.
I'm in
but-
Cleveland.
Have you tried? We
Anyway.
try to figure it out.
It's a sad motherfucking state. Do we have an update? Does anybody have an update? Like,
I'm watching.
Let's go live.
Can we cut to commercial here? Can we do a commercial break?
I'm watching it.
Cut to our
Nothing's happened yet.
sponsors.
Yeah, it's the same, I think. But yeah, man, I don't vote. I don't vote. So to me, I'm looking at this like a sports event, and I think Jay has been kind of talking about it like a sports event. And I'm like, you know what? As a sport, this election thing it's okay. It's not the greatest, but it's not a terrible sport. And if you're looking at the scoreboard, and which I'm not right this second, but if you are, it's still 264 to 214. Where's this going, Jay? You got any spice for this show? I'm gonna hand it over to you.
Let me look up the numbers real quick.
I just said the numbers. Dick.
Well,
Yeah,
I
it's
just wanted to
213. Yeah.
Boom, shared the numbers.
They're waiting. They're waiting for Nevada and Georgia to report their numbers. And
Here's the thing about so they
75%.
but don't they have like a live update of that on those like individual states that still haven't counted their
Who's
electoral
talking?
votes?
now they're waiting for them to.
There you
They do
go.
it in batches, so they're waiting for the next batch of votes.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. This is off topic, but has anyone seen the show Veep by chance?
Oh, I love Veep.
Great,
Love it.
great show. Did you see the episode where they were all locked in? Like Nevada was the crutch of it all. And
I hear
riding on
Biden
that.
talking. Can we turn Biden off?
Are you talking to me?
I don't hear him.
I'm not sharing sound.
Yeah, say about the Veep. You said Nevada
never
and
mind.
Veep.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. My girlfriend was making a joke about that. She was saying this is just like that episode in Veep, you know?
It is. It is. That's a great
They
show.
both sides.
Nice. Okay. Well, does anybody have anything else to say here about tonight and what's happening? Because this I'm kind of exhausted about the whole thing, to be honest with you. I have a kind of a splitting headache about the whole deal. This whole thing, it's a bit irritating, and I'm glad that we're talking about it tonight. And the Electoral College, I think we need to do a deep dive discussion about some of that and how, and if it's ever been challenged in the past, and why hasn't it been challenged in the past? And
well, it's been challenged. It was challenged when George Bush was elected, right? The Florida recount.
Yeah.
I don't think I don't know if they challenged it, but they challenged the votes. I don't think they challenged the Electoral College. Biden, I believe 5 of the last Democratic elections, we've won the popular vote, but only won the office twice. So I bet Democrats are going to do their best to get Electoral College eliminated this time.
Yeah, it'd be nice. But I don't know if it's ever been put out in the Congress or anything like that and put in front of them to decide.
Because that'd be a constitutional amendment, wouldn't it?
Why not? Yeah,
I
why?
believe it would be right.
Sure. So hopefully they'll do that, or they'll talk, at least put it out there to have that discussion. Thank you very much, you guys, for joining the aftermath today. I'm spent, and I'm sure it shows. So, Steve, Frank, Anthony, I don't know where Josh went to. Probably he'll be right back. You have any final thoughts, Steve, where we can go from here?
We're going to wake up tomorrow and find out.
All right. And Anthony?
Nice.
So right now I want to tell everybody in TV land or internet land, you know, this is a called the Hot Topic Hot Potato Roundtable discussion. It is an offshoot basically from the concept of the Great Internet Debate game show. We're looking for contestants to debate hot topics. There's going to be more hot topics moving forward. The debates are over as far as presidential, but our debates are just beginning. So if you're interested in being a contestant or sponsor or anybody else, a voter, viewer, or even a guest judge, would love to have you. Go to thegreatinternetdebate.com and join us. Thank you. Hey, folks. Thanks for watching the Great Internet Debate Hot Topic, Hot Potato Roundtable discussion. We want to remind you that if you like this programming, please participate in our Patreon. And this is our Patreon. It's on the bottom of our website. And here is where you can be a participant. And then you can get to see all these great shows that we're recording right now again and again and again. And more to come. Thank you very much for supporting our cause and watching our program.